Please don't fall.
I won't. And you would stand like this, but I can't even bend over, I'm so fat. But on your mark, get set, and go, and you would just... Okay, that's enough.
You wanna run?
What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to Grim. Yes, I am still sick. Sorry, my voice might still sound a little bit off. But we are overdue for some more Big Ed cringe. So today, we're actually going to see him and Liz go back to his hometown in, I believe, Arkansas. And she's going to begin to meet Big Ed's actual family. I am personally excited to see some family members of his. I expect them to be a lot more normal than him. I'm guessing he's a bit of an outlier in that family when it comes to just his overall strangeness. But nevertheless, without any further ado, let's get into it. Make sure you watch until the very end if you enjoy my series on Big Ed, and drop a like if you want to support the channel. Anyways, let's get into it, shall we?
Liz and I have had a crazy few weeks where we've been working on ourselves and our relationship, and I want to take her to meet all my family.
Oh, and just look at how excited Liz's face is at the prospect of going over and meeting all of Big Ed's family. I'm honestly surprised that he has all this big chunk of family that lives away from California that still wants to talk to him, and I'm wondering if there's going to be the same effect as everybody else that he was close with in California. As soon as they were around Liz and his antics for long enough, they all got over it so much to where they don't even want to talk to either of them anymore. So I'm not sure how long this vacation is, but if it's more than a few days and they see, you know, a couple fights, because that's how often they're having them, I'm sure they're going to be equally annoyed and probably happy that he's going back to California.
We are having a second engagement party.
It will be great to be able to share a part of me, for Liz to see where I grew up, and for us to learn more about each other.
And yeah, the big thing, in case you guys forgot, is they are having the second engagement party. Their first one was a disaster that led to their biggest fight ever and Liz throwing away the $13,000 ring. I forget exactly how much it cost, but we all know how big of a train wreck that was. All I know is I hope this one goes much better. I'm guessing it will because it's a different crowd of people. But regardless, Liz is packing here and she is really not hype. I mean, I personally would not want to fly across the country for this either. It's something you do when you're in a relationship and you're supposed to meet your partner's family if they want you to meet them. So it definitely is a rite of passage for their engagement, and I think it's probably necessary before they get married to get some more context on what makes Ed the way he is, and family's a great way to see that. But still, I get her hesitancy. I definitely don't think it would be a very fun time if I was in her shoes either, and I'm guessing it's going to be a lot of interrogating questions every single time somebody talks to them.
It's kind of a do-over.
It's not a do-over when I don't have people there partaking. I don't want to be left alone at the party.
No,
You're
won't.
really good at wandering away from me.
Okay, cut to next episode when we have the party, and actually he's just literally going to do just that. He's going to walk in, try to be the funny guy and entertain everybody, and she's just going to be sitting in the corner all awkwardly. I'm predicting it now.
My hope is that spending time in my hometown with Liz will make the engagement party that much more special.
And Liz is just really trying to bite her tongue. The entire time Ed is talking about how excited he is for this. I mean, the difference between both of their energies so far is insane. I don't blame Ed. I'm sure it is nice to be back in your old stomping grounds and see everybody that you miss from your family, but you could not be further from a good time than being Liz right now. But before the pressure of meeting the family and everything, Ed is just going to go on a little bit of a tour around the town and talk about his old stomping grounds. And what the funniest thing would be is if this man just starts rattling off some fake life and like makes it sound like it was storybook. I don't think he's gonna do that, but he seems like the type of guy that would just fabricate his entire early life to make him sound better.
There were 6 kids in our family. I was the middle spoiled one.
How much of a hard time or rebel or troublemaker were you?
I mean, I did troubling things, but I never got caught.
Okay, that's a really weird way to put that, Ed. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but yeah, apparently according to Ed, he was a bad boy back in the day. Not like the stoic, mature guy now. No, back in the day, he was immature and reckless, and apparently got away with everything bad he ever did. So that does explain a lot about his personality too, because that's why he's this 50-something-year-old dude that lacks any bit of personal accountability or, ability to think for himself of what should I be doing that's right in this situation. And instead he just chooses the wrong choice every time. He acts selfishly and is unforgiving about it because he thinks that's just the way that he can live his life.
I couldn't imagine if we had a little mini you. That would be a handful.
That would be a handful.
Yeah.
Yeah, more than a handful. Please do not make that happen. If we have a pregnancy arc next season, I will literally implode, okay? Especially with how rocky this relationship is. Like, that kid is just doomed. I'm sorry. Stick with the puppies. You guys got your nice little fur babies. And for a lot of people, that's enough. That should be enough for both of you, too. I mean, Ed, I don't even know if you still could have a child at this point, but I'm not saying that as a challenge either. Please heed my words. Stick with the dogs.
Once I was in college, I met my ex-wife. First girl I was ever with. Then I met Liz. my first really serious relationship after my ex-wife.
So now they're taking a tour to Ed's old high school, it looks like, and he's going to be talking about his previous life. It really is just trippy to think about the fact that this man has only had one long-term relationship in his life before this. I know that's kind of a tired point, but it's something I honestly forget about, and I will say, as foolish as he is, it makes sense. You got to think about it from that angle. No matter how confident you are, or maybe how much better with words you might be than Ed, you still have to go through the pains of like learning how to date and navigate the dating world, and that's just something he never did because he was in that long-term marriage, and then once that was over, he just decided to be single for the rest of his life until, I guess, this show happened, and now look at where we're at. But yeah, it really does explain why he's had so many issues simply adjusting to being in a relationship again.
So was high school?
High school was a little better than junior high, and elementary I was teased and bullied.
Oh, sad boy hours. Dang. Okay, so Ed is not going the route that I thought he was going to go with speaking about his past life. He's actually being pretty honest and talking about how school was, you know, it was tough for him. I feel like a lot of his life has been tough, not only because he has this thing with his neck and the way he's shaped, but also just his personality is very, I mean, you could clash with that very easily, especially if you were a younger kid. So obviously not excusing it, but it's sad to see that this dude has had a tough life at times. I'm just so glad he's not making up something that while they're at this football field, like him just being like, yeah, I threw about 30 touchdowns here one season. It was pretty crazy. They all carried me off on their shoulders and they were chanting, Ed, Ed, Ed. Oh, I could still feel the energy from here. Like, I really thought this dude was gonna be going off like Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite, making up some, you know, glory story about how he was just some all-star back in the day. But no, he's being real. So I'll give you this one time, Ed. You're being real for once. Proud of you.
I want to know how you would line up.
And you would stand like this, but I can't even bend over, I'm so fat, but...
I've never done the stance.
Oh, I'm so old.
So then it transitions to him trying to flex for Liz and show off his track running abilities. I did not know Ed ran track. That's actually very impressive, but he no longer does, obviously, as look at this. They actually start playing this motivational music that I obviously can't play, but the dude like speed walks for about, I don't know, a third of a corner of this track, and then is immediately out of breath. I know he's in the pink Crocs. He's not equipped for it, but still, Ed, dude, come on. You used to run track. You literally could get back there if you just kept working out as much as you make Liz work out. Please hit the gym. But all right, enough dilly-dallying. Now it's time to meet one of Big Ed's siblings as they go over to his sister's house for dinner, and there's gonna be a little bit of tension here as they're talking about their relationship and meeting Liz, as last time they broke up for this massive breakup, you know, during the season break, he actually flew out here and stayed with his sister for a while, so they know just how devastating, I say devastating in quotes, you can't see the air quotes here, this last breakup was for Ed, even though it was probably his doing.
Ed and Liz had several split up. It made all of us nervous, honestly. It was definitely devastating the last time they broke up before getting back together. It was...
I mean, was Ed over here just bawling his eyes out for his sister? Like, how does she know how devastating it was? I guess just the nature of him actually hopping on a flight and going across the country in order to hang out with his sister and have, you know, somebody look after him after this breakup does actually indicate how messed up it was for Ed, but still, I don't buy any of it. So much of their breakups and issues are resulting from his actions and his own insecurities. So yes, I can't tell him how to feel. He still deserves to feel the way he feels about it. But so much of it seems like he's the one being slighted, especially when you look from his perspective. I bet his sister is thinking that Liz is just some manipulative monster, when really it's the other way around. That's your brother.
He seems so very happy, which makes me happy. That's what I want for him. But it has to go both ways. Let's see how it goes.
And even the way his sister phrased that there, it still sounds like she's very skeptical of Liz. Oh man, I wonder if these people also watch the show, because by now there have been seasons of the show out by the time they had been filming this. They can get a peek into their brother's romantic life. And if they even saw any of the, you know, chapters with Rose, oh my God, that feels like a half decade ago. I guess it was almost at this point, but if they saw any of that, they should know that Ed is, like I said, the root of most of these issues. It's not Liz.
Ed, the only thing that Mom reiterates to me probably every time we talk is that she just worries about you. She wants you to be happy.
And then the sister starts speaking on behalf of their mother, who, if you don't remember, has not spoken to Ed for, I think, over 6 months at this point, maybe even over a year. Her and Rich, his old best friend, they are the two biggest outspoken people against this relationship, and I think it's because they were the closest in proximity to it as it was in its rockiest phase. And think about how rocky it is still even now. I mean, it's probably gotten worse than what they even saw at points, but still, they saw how dangerous this relationship was with how volatile they both were, how many times they were acting up in and breaking up for seemingly no reason and then getting back together. And then as soon as they got back together that one time and got engaged, that was enough. And since then, he has had no contact with his mother. So it sounds like that's going to change, hopefully. If they give it more time, he's going to try to reach out and see if there's a way to mend this relationship with his mom, which I do think is very important.
And as a mom would, worry about her boy.
Sorry, they're touchy subjects. So.
No.
And I don't know if this is coming from a place of guilt or what, but Liz starts just bawling at the table and says it's a touchy subject. I really do think that she feels so much personal responsibility for this man's inability to speak to his own mother, which it really isn't that way. I guess, yeah, you're half responsible because you are half of this equation of this terrible relationship that caused that communication rift in the first place. But no, Ed is a big enough boy. He's 50-something years old. He can figure this out with his mom if he really wants to. I get the feeling that he kind of enjoys the freedom of just being with Liz and separated from all that. And that's partially why he has not worked harder on maintaining his relationship with his mom. So you really shouldn't feel too bad, Liz, but I feel bad. She's just like crying over her fried chicken right now.
So Liz, do you have concerns? Meeting the big group?
Yes, nervous. Meeting everybody.
So in wrapping up the meal, the sister here asks Liz if she has any concerns, and she pretty much just repeats the fact that it's just her there. I don't know why she thinks this is going to be some sort of standoff. Like, I don't think it'll be too bad. How outspoken could Ed's distant family that are states away actually, be? But she thinks she's about to step into a battle of like 1 versus 100, bro. She's going to be throwing bows left and right, trying to deflect people off. It's simply just not going to be like that.
But looking forward to getting to know you and meet you and visit with you and...
No pressure.
But honestly, Liz, it is gonna be a lot.
And, okay, the sister did not bring good vibes here to close it out. She kind of warns Liz and is like, actually, you're right. Everything you just said is correct, and it will be exactly like that. It's not going to be a good time for you, so you should be worried. Mind you, she's saying this the night before this party happens, so let's see if she's right. I don't know, dude. Next episode is going to be their engagement party 2.0. I am excited. Hopefully, it's nearly as exciting as the first one, but maybe in different ways. I am honestly hoping for them that it goes well, but with this couple, that's just not possible most of the time. So let me know what you thought of this episode down in the comments below. Sorry if my voice again was sounding very weird throughout this. I appreciate you guys showing support over on here and on Patreon. And as always, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Until next time, peace out.